Hello, I am Arlo.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And today we're going to talk about the difference between coming out as not hetero and coming out as non-binary.
No need to worry, we won't fade.
So you can start if you like.
I can start, okay.
Yes.
Suddenly start, just do
You
it.
start because I cannot do it.
Okay. Well, for me personally, there was a big difference between coming out as not straight and non-binary. Because for me personally, coming out as genderqueer was not something that my surroundings had a hard time with. Especially because in the time that I grew up in, like being gay, being lesbian, being bisexual was already kind of accepted. It was still weird, but it was like more accepted than you think, like especially like 10, 20 years ago. When I came out as bisexual at first, nobody was surprised, first and for all, which was really weird because I was like, I have to tell you something, I'm bisexual, and everybody was like, yeah, we already knew this.
That's handy.
Yeah, kind of, because at the other hand, it was also like, how do you know this before I do? So that was kind of a weird thing. But it was very easily accepted because it was already well known. Whilst when I came out as non-binary, people had no idea what it was. So it was a lot harder because I had to explain what it was, why I felt the way I did. They had to change the way they addressed me and pronouns and everything. I felt like everybody had like a harder time with that than just, oh yeah, you also like girls or whatever. That was a lot more easy to accept for them. So for me, it was like a big difference. Personally.
For me it's kind of the same, like when I came out as I also like girls.
Surprise.
Surprise. I didn't even really use a label, to be honest. I was just like,
Yeah,
I don't really
that.
know if I'm a lesbian or bisexual or whatever. So I was just like, I also like girls. It wasn't really like a big deal. For me it was, but not for the people around me.
Yeah.
So that was really handy, and it felt like a huge weight had like been lifted, and I was just like, yeah, I'm free now. Of course I wasn't free, but that
Because then came the gender struggles.
Then there was a few years later a new thing popping up.
Yeah.
It took me a lot of years to come out as non-binary as well, because I think before I came out it was another like 2-3 years that I was kind of researching it, but I was like, maybe, but I didn't really dare to say it to anyone. I even bought a binder. I let it be sent to like a friend of mine, and I didn't let anyone know.
It out. Oh.
No, nobody could know. Okay. I was just like sometimes wearing it, but then when I wore it, I was scared that people would see it and then think, what the fuck is going on there?
Yeah.
So then I sometimes went to the toilet and I took it off again. I was really,
Wow.
I didn't know what I was
You really
doing.
struggled with this, didn't you?
Well, I don't know. It was just weird. I wasn't even sure if I needed it. That was kind of the strange thing about it. There were two aspects for me, like the fact that I was maybe non-binary, but also just like maybe it's just a boob thing, and I don't know if it has to do with identity. That was a big struggle for me, like am I even non-binary, am I even trans? When I came out as non-binary, for me it was also harder than coming out as queer, sexuality-wise. I think it was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, we came out at around the same time when it came to non-binary. We met each other when we still had like our birth names.
And we were still another gender.
Yeah.
Officially.
So I think we kind of like came out as non-binary at around the same time.
Yeah, I saw you at the second YouTube event in Brussels, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you were out then.
Because my name was already changed.
Oh, okay. Because
I still looked like I wasn't.
Well, I understand, but there's not really a look.
Yeah,
but I understand. Yeah,
that's what I meant. Like I hadn't really changed a lot. Like what's it called? Like
gender expression wise.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
We'll go with that. I think I went by she, they pronouns back then because I wasn't like completely... I was still trying to figure out who I was exactly.
Yeah.
But my name had already changed. So I was already... When I introduced myself, I already used like Jamie instead of my old name.
Yeah.
The thing is just that I don't think I had changed my channel name yet by then. So I think that's maybe why the confusion was, because my channel name used to have my birth name in it.
Oh, okay.
So on my badge, it still had like the old name because that was my channel name. But I introduced myself as Jamie to everybody who I met because I already came out. So it was like this weird transitioning like period.
That must have been annoying though.
It was really weird.
Events.
Yeah, it was really
be
weird.
like,
Then,
but actually,
exactly, because you're there to like network and meet new people, and it was like, hey, I'm Jamie, but my name on the badge says something else. Hey. So yeah, I changed it later once I figured out what I wanted the new channel name to be. But it did take me some time because I was still figuring everything out while I was going through it.
Yeah. So we went to the YouTube event. That's not okay, but it was related to the topic. So but yeah, I was just saying, like, kind of the same for me, like coming out as non-binary, because I would say now in 2023 we've already advanced a lot since 2018, 2019 in Belgium when it comes to being trans, being non-binary. But back then it was really like even more difficult than now. I feel like because it seemed like something I kind of invented out of nowhere. Like people were like, well, I didn't invent it, but I mean like when I was talking about
you didn't invent
I was the inventor of being non-binary. No, I meant like...
But you felt like it was all in your head, like it wasn't a real thing? Or...
Well, I felt like it was a real thing, but I felt like when I was talking about it to people who didn't know anything about it, they kind of felt like I was inventing it. Like, is that a thing? Is that a thing? Like, what are you talking about? There's only men and women, and you are a woman,
either
either
the one or the other,
Yeah, it's not possible, you know? Yeah, it was harder because even then I was like working on music. When I talked to interviewers, I always had to explain it a lot. This is what it means to be non-binary. I would like you to use these pronouns, but they didn't know how to use it, so I really had to rewrite articles and stuff. Like I was literally like like half of my time was not like promoting my music, but it was
making sure
that my interviews like they weren't misgendering me. And that was also the same thing like in my personal life, like, pronouns. My name hadn't changed yet because for me coming out as non-binary, I kind of said like I just don't feel like I'm a woman or a man, but I didn't at first really say other things about it. It was just like I would like it if you use they them pronouns, but I was really like it's an option, you can choose. I wasn't really very firm about it, but then like after a year I started being a bit more firm about it. Only they them for me. And also I changed my name.
Okay, so for you it was the pronouns first and then the name.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Because it was the opposite for me, actually.
Oh,
I just really, really hated my name because it was very common. Everybody had it, and it was like very much like traditionally female, and I really just hated it because there was nothing unique about it. Sorry, because we shared the same name.
I said that. I'm so sorry. I was thinking about going to say anything about that. We will see if we keep that in. If anyone knows one of our
it's fine.
that names, then they're like, oh, the other one.
That's had the same name.
That's maybe not good. I don't know.
I just really, really disliked my name. So I had been experimenting online with different names. So like a Tumblr account or on forums or whatever, I would use a different name. Actually, I would use Jamie because I just really liked the name Jamie. And that's how I started experimenting with what I liked. And then at some point, I asked the people at my work actually if they wanted to start calling me Jamie just to see how it felt like, because they knew me by my old name as well. So I was like, can we just try this out? I would like to see what it feels like. And that was such a happy evening because I felt everything felt right when they used a new name. So I asked them to keep calling me my new name. I work in a very like queer friendly place, FYI.
I know.
So it was very easy for me to ask them without feeling judged. They were just like, okay, if you want to try, sure, let's do that. And it felt so right that I asked them to keep calling me Jamie. And then it actually kind of bled from the workspace into my personal life because I just really, really loved it. At first it was like, I just changed my name, like nothing else has changed about me. I still use the she, her pronouns. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, actually, maybe I don't want to use the she, her pronouns anymore. Maybe I do want to change that as well. And it's actually because the name change for me was so accepted by my colleagues and my close friends at the time that it felt more easy for me to also just come out as maybe it is a gender thing. Maybe it is me trying to figure out who I am. Maybe I would like you to actually also use they, them pronouns. That's like how it like gradually changed for me personally.
Didn't you come out first as gender questioning, or wasn't that you? I remember seeing a post about that. I was like, oh, something's happening.
I actually made a whole video about it at the time, like, hi, surprise, I'm changing my channel names because I changed my name and I'm not sure where I am on the spectrum, but I know I'm not feeling like a female. So I think that at the time I also had like she, they pronouns because I was okay with both. But then again, it gradually changed into only they, them because the more people people still used the she, her pronouns, the more uncomfortable I felt. It wasn't a part of who I was anymore. It started out as like kind of questioning, I'm not sure, maybe both. And then it was like, no, please not. So actually, it's actually really funny that you bring that up, because I was planning on making an update video. Where was I in 2019, or where am I now?
Okay.
Like the visions, like what changed. Haven't done it yet, but it's been an idea that has like been running around in my mind lately.
Yeah.
So it's actually really funny that you bring that up.
The pronoun thing. For me, I remember like for a long time, I think it was before I came out actually, I sometimes on Instagram changed my pronouns, but just for like a little bit of time, because I was always scared
that somebody would notice.
Yeah, it was really strange, because on one hand I wanted someone to notice, on the other hand I was like, if someone I don't want it to notices it, then it's not nice. So I was always like, they, them, and then like one day later, delete. And then maybe even in a few hours, delete. I've done it so many times. I just put it there, I was like, yeah, now I feel empowered. And then like a day after, I was like, no, I don't feel empowered.
I'm actually scared now, let's take it back.
Cheer. For me, there were a lot of times where like I kind of dipped my toes in the water, and then I just went back and forth and back and forth, until I finally was like, okay, let's just go all the way in.
Yeah.
When it comes to pronouns, when it comes to my name change, because at first I didn't change my name, but at some point I was like, actually I think it seemed like a nice idea. It's an option. It's not that I'm sure if I want it, but maybe I can try it, and then I will see if it's good for me or not. So I came at that point and I was like, okay, searching the internet. Wait, what was I saying?
About like doing the research.
Yeah, so I have to, wait, my brain.
Same bro, same. So you were researching about the name changes and like the pronouns and stuff.
I wasn't original, so I was just like on Instagram, the trans people that I was following, I often saw them picking names, and I was like, those names are kind of nice, so I will just also write them down as options for me.
Okay.
Arlo was one of the first options that I saw. There was another trans person who's called Arlo. Actually, there's many trans people who like take the name Arlo.
Oh, really?
It's really a thing. Like sometimes really I think like
usually when
too many people.
Yeah, because usually when you hear about people like picking out names, it's usually something like Mars or Arson or something like that. Like Brick.
Brick? No, not Brick.
Like things like that you think like that's a special name. Yeah, you hear that a lot, that trans people like pick really, really like unique names at times.
Yes, definitely.
So in that case, I feel like Arlo and Jamie are like pretty normal names.
Yeah, kinda. Maybe just because it's like a stereotype that non-binary people, they take new names that are very short. I feel like Arlo is definitely short. Jamie, I don't know, pretty short.
It's
in between short.
To me, it's like very regular. I don't know. I think it would feel more weird if you had like a super long name and then you would go for like something that had like a very, very short vowel.
But it's just like a stereotype. And I feel like it is often true that non-binary people, if they pick a new name, they go to a very short name. Like Arlo. Yeah. That's the first one that came up because it's mine. But it's not...
As you do.
But like Mars, like there's many names that like they're very short. They're like bam, bam, bam. And it's kind of a thing. And I feel like, well, I kind of looked at the other trans people, like what are they picking? But I feel like it's generally also a thing, not for everyone, but like many people, they go on the internet and they're like asking like, here's a picture of me. Can you give me a new name? What fits me? And often it's these same names that definitely go around again. So it's like, oh, I think you're a Mars. I think you're an Eden. And I'm but we're all
but we are all
the same names. We're all Arlo, we're all Eden,
and we're Mars now,
And it's okay, like it's okay, but it's just funny to me. When I picked that, I was like, okay, there's one person that I see that it has this name, I like it, and I had a few other options like Ren, W-R-E-N. I still kind of like that name. It's a bird, and I was like, I like birds, and they're free. It's like the stereotype of like, you know, the symbol of a bird is like a free.
Yeah, but it's pretty. I mean, I do get it. The symbolism is really nice.
And it's short and it's nice. I felt like, and also what's very important to me is like it had to be neutral or more masculine. There should not be any possibility that if someone saw the name, they would think it was for a girl. That was for me very important.
That's very specific.
Because I was like, old name definitely very obvious, like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
That was very important to me. And then it was like kind of trying out names, and I started with trying out Arlo, and it just kind of felt nice from the beginning. I just let multiple people use it. And then when I was sure about it, then I let my parents know and stuff. I know also there's people who ask their parents to give them the new name, or it's like a kind of a discussion.
Yeah, I've heard that actually, because my mom was actually a bit sad that I didn't consult her about it, because like she chose my original name and she was so happy with it, and she thought it was such a pretty name. And then when I said, hey, I chose Jamie, I would like you to call me Jamie now, she did not like that name at all. She thought it was a horrible name. She didn't like it. Yeah. Really? So she said afterwards that she wished I had talked about it with her so we could have found a new name together. It's a bit double for me because yes, I would like to have her be part of that discussion, but at the same time, I felt like it was really important for me to choose something that was actually for me. Like, I feel like it's such a part of my identity that I chose my own name. I think I would have probably settled for something that I didn't like as much if I were to discuss it with someone else. So I don't regret choosing it myself. I did hear from like multiple people that the parents wished they had a discussion about it and they could figure out something together. At the same time, like I said, it's also very important for the trans person to choose their own name because it's like part of the transitioning, I feel like. So, of course, it's very double to me.
Yeah, I understand. I have to be honest, I was just so sure about the name that I wanted at some point. I think I did think about that option to discuss it with my parents. I was just like, I'm so sure about this name. How am I going to find another name that I'm that sure about with my parents? I felt like, exactly like you said, maybe I would even pick something less. Yeah, so like something maybe I did like a bit, but not as much as the other one. It is a nice thing if it's good for both parties. There are people that definitely picked it together with their mom or dad or both, their parent. When they come to a name that they both really like, I feel like it's the ideal option because you're both happy about it, and it's nice to know that your parent also likes it. So it's like a new name choosing, or how do you say that? When you're born, it is a big thing when someone decides the name for you. So if you get a new name, I feel like it would be like a rebirth, and if again the parents are involved, it seems like a nice thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I agree that you need to be like first place when it comes to your name.
I was so sure about the name Jamie that I also didn't want to change it anymore. Because I know that if I would have talked it over with someone else, I would have settled for something that I probably didn't like as much. I could have done it differently, but I also don't regret the way it went. Because at the end of the day, it's my name and I have to be happy carrying it.
True. Okay, I feel like we've already discussed a lot, no?
Yeah.
It's nice, but...
Yeah, it went really fast. It was really easy.
Okay, I'm not sure if there's something else. For me, another thing was top surgery, of course. Well, it's not for everyone, but for me it was, in the end, a thing. And again, it was something I tipped my toes first.
With the binder.
Well, yeah, but that binder, I didn't wear it that often. Like, really not.
I wear mine all the time.
I only wore it before I came out to try out, like, what is this? From the moment that I had come out, I think in total I maybe wore it maximum 5 times.
Really?
Because I like the ID was nice to me. Like, it's flat. That's what I want, so let's do that. Okay. But from the moment that I put it on, I felt like so restricted and anxious. The fact that I like maybe couldn't breathe, and maybe I was doing this to myself. Okay. Maybe I would break a rib. All the possibilities of what could go wrong to my body. So I was like, just wait it out. And then the top surgery thing, it became more important to me. It went from maybe I want that, but maybe I will be okay for a lifetime with breasts and I will just sit it out. Because in the beginning, my dysphoria, it was like up and down. It wasn't always. So I was like, oh, maybe I can sit it out. To a point where I was like, no, it's too much. If I like put it in like numbers, it's too much dysphoria. If I could just get that operation and I will never have that again, like it's better for me. But like the binder, no, I really didn't like that.
Okay. Because that's my whole thing. Because I have the binder, I keep like postponing the top surgery. I'm not gonna say that I have like big boobs, but like they are definitely there, and I notice them a lot.
I understand.
So for me, it's like I really want to have that, but with the binder, it does so much that it's not like the top priority at the moment. So it's very interesting that you have like the complete opposite thing, because to me, it's like, oh, I have a binder, I can wait. Yeah. Because I don't feel restricted wearing it. Because before I had a binder, I already wore like lots of sports bras and
me too.
And already like bras that were already a bit too small, and I never felt like suffocated in them. So I know that it's not healthy to bind all the time, but like it's not something that bothers me. It's not something that occupies my mind all the time. It's just like, hey, look, I have a flat chest when I bind. Nice. That's basically all the thought that goes into it.
Yeah, I understand. You don't have to say sorry to the ring light. That's okay. Many people are more like you, I think, when it comes to binding. In my mind, I was just scared of all the stories, the negative stories that I heard. And also, you know, I didn't like wearing that binders. I did wear sport bras always, multiple years.
Yeah.
I felt like binding, it always has some kind of downsides, you know? And
it's a short-term solution at the end.
it felt, exactly. That's what it felt like to me. So I was like, even if I could push myself to wear that, I felt like at some point I will like need that top surgery. Yeah. Some people, they immediately think if you get top surgery, you will also go on testosterone or stuff like that. But for me,
I
no.
I hear that a lot, actually.
The camera fell out. So for me, top surgery was something that I needed to do for myself, and it was the last thing that I needed. Testosterone is not something on my radar. It's not something that I want, even though there's many people that I know that are non-binary and go on testosterone.
Yeah, I never really considered that, actually, so it's not really something I would want either.
Yeah.
The top surgery is something that I do have on my list of things that I really want to do, and I also want to get a hysterectomy. What's it called? Like have my uterus.
Hysterectomy? I don't know how to say it.
I want to have my uterus deleted. I want to have it taken out.
Yeah.
So those are the two big things that I still want to do, apart from the like official name change, because my name hasn't changed officially yet. Other than that, I don't think I would want testosterone either. It's not something I ever thought about, actually, or like having like some sort of like genitalia surgery or something. Like that's not really something that I've ever thought about. Yeah. It's actually something very recently. When I tell people I'm non-binary and I want to have like the top surgery, they're like, oh, so you're gonna change something about your genitalia as well? And I'm like, why would I want to do that? No. I always thought it was like one thing or the other, not like you have to have them both. And some people, they kind of expect you to, while I'm like, well, I am on the trans spectrum, but I'm not that trans, you know? It's like, it's been interesting because I've definitely noticed that lately. Also in my personal surroundings and my friends that are enby and stuff, most of them have not started testosterone or estrogen or anything like that.
I just noticed myself that a lot of people around me who kind of came out as non-binary at the same time as me, now almost all of them have started testosterone. Like most of them like microdosing, because there's a difference between like going all the way in and like microdosing. I feel like I'm actually one of the few ones left who has not done it.
You have someone else now who doesn't want that either. So.
It's not like one is better than the other. It's just it's something I noticed, and I'm like, am I missing a boat? But it's like a boat I don't want to be on.
Exactly. So then you're not missing it. Then you're just letting it go.
I like my face feminine shaped. The fact that I have top surgery is for me also related to being read as more masked and feeling more masked. For me, this has changed a lot in how I feel and matches me most. The thought of taking testosterone and then like getting facial hair, the thought of that really like is like, no, never.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I think that we've discussed a lot. So did we actually come to a conclusion? The differences between coming out as queer and non-binary? I think so.
Kind of, yeah. We kind of went off topic
but
as well, but like it's fun. Yeah. We talked about a lot of things. I think that the long story short is that it was for both of us more easy to come out as queer in terms of sexuality, but that we had a lot more things to think about or to struggle with, I suppose, when it came to coming out like gender-wise.
Perfect. Thank you for saying that.
That's a good conclusion. Okay, perfect.
But that's definitely the conclusion. Thank you, Jamie, for
You're welcome. It was so fun.
I'll link your channel in the comments and stuff. Please. We'll do another channel. We'll do we'll start a new channel. No. You heard it here first. We're going to do another video on Jamie's channel, so definitely check that out too. I'm pretty sure it will be great.
I think... Oh, hello cat. I think the video that I have in mind, it's less specific. It's a bit more of an overall thing to get to know both of us a little bit better. So if that's something you like, then you can click somewhere on the screen, I think, and then you can go to the video. So see you there.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
You hate your president who tries to take your right.